So we move from identification and detection to containment. Sometimes it's not quite as simple. That is a direct thing if you're talking about a single computer that's connected through one thing only. If you're talking about servers that are attached to other servers and or backup systems and or right, there's caching systems, etc. Sometimes stopping that particular thing may not be as easy. And some of that has maybe to do with operations as well, right? If it's your main server, like Walmart selling things, can it just pull its main servers offline? That, you know, how much does it lose per second that their website goes down? So sometimes it's not just a technical thing, but maybe it could be an operational piece that affects how you're able to contain the attack or contain a breach. Excuse me. Right? And then also incidents do occur on multiple devices or systems on a network. So sometimes you have, you don't know what, you may pull one cable and there may be 6 or 7 more that would need to be pulled to actually stop what's happening. Right? Containment is very difficult because sometimes the things work their way through the network. Again, because that same thing that I talked about, without having internal sensors, you may not know where else it goes. The obvious may be one host to one server, but you may not be able to see what the other, what this host did with the next door neighbor host, and it's also doing within your network. So continuous evaluation and analysis, right? You just continue and keep working through that circle, and hopefully you get to an end of some sort so you can actually go to the next step of this, which we'll talk about in just a second, right? And just as I mentioned, containment decisions have to take your business in addition to security requirements into consideration. If it's your main server, if it's your most important device that's being hacked or compromised, what does it mean to bring that down? What does it mean? Do you have backups and all you got to do is pull it down and it automatically backs up? You have you have balancers that maybe you take one off and the other 2 take up the slack. Not as big an issue, but if your organization isn't big enough or does not have that kind of an implementation, that server, that device, if it doesn't have a backup, or a backup could be pull it off and you're down for a minute and you immediately plug in whatever it is that you need to, I guess a cold backup, if you will, or if you don't have a warm backup set up, then maybe that's what you're talking about. Okay, you do have to consider what is the potential damage, right? And then does the evidence need to be preserved? On some things, as Sean mentioned, when you pull that plug, there are anti-forensic pieces of malware out there where they look for, hey, did we lose connection? Did we, did somebody actually type netstat and look for my connection? They're looking at processes within their piece of malware, and it's smart. It will back off and shut itself off and kill itself and disappear if it detects these sorts of things happening. So sometimes, excuse me, leaving it on, leaving it plugged in is the best route, right? And again, you can get your advice from your SOC or your Security Operations Center or your incident response type folks. Talk to them about what they see, because if the threat happens to be using that sort of malware, then it's very important that you leave it alone